Hello everyone and welcome to round 8 of the URL-GT1 championship. We are at Misano for the first ever URL-GT1 race there, and Robert Horvat took the pole just as last week, and now with a 1:25.4, 3/10 clear of Peter Bokus in the Panos. Ethan Bass put his Saleen in 3rd place. In the AM Cup it was Rob Timpen in front of Andrei Golubnici and then Sando Donadel. And we could welcome a new driver, Ronnie Timpen, and yes indeed that's the brother of Rob. So let's have a look at the highlights of the race. So here is the starting grid, and it is raining in Italy, so it will be a very tough race for everyone in these conditions. Let's see how they get away. Oh, Mikkel from 5th gets away very well, and he will go for the inside into turn 1. Can he make it stick? No, he has to go onto the curbs, and I think Robert will keep his momentum. Yes indeed, so he will keep first position. And Felix Boucher versus Ethan Bass. Felix goes through with a little bit of bumping, then he gets very close in the first hard braking zone. A lot of cars on one spot, and Sando Donadel is currently in last position, but of course there's still 70 minutes of racing to go. And here, after a small mistake onto the grass from Peter Bokus, Felix Boucher goes through. This is still on the first lap, of course, and it seems Felix has a good car, good setup for these conditions, and he goes into P3. So here's the rest of the field. Manuel Liguori rounding up the top 10, and Rob Timpen in first in the AM Cup, I think. No, sorry, it was no, indeed it's Rob Timpen in first. Here's Robert Horvat coming into the so-called hairpin here at Misano. So he is a bit clear of the two behind, Mikko and Felix. And if you look in the back, we will see Ethan Bass unfortunately losing it on the grass and losing a lot of position. He will come into the pits at the end of this lap. So Rob Timpen in first, as I said. Chris Simpton in second in the AM Cup. Andrei Golubnici then in third, and Sando Donadel in 4th. So then on lap 2, Felix Boucher proved he had a good car underneath him in these wet conditions. Even bump drafting Mikkel for a little while, then around the outside, brakes a bit later. Can he keep it on the track? Oh, just barely. Mikkel cuts across again. Can Felix dive at the inside? He has some overlap, so yes he can. Oh, he goes a bit wide. Will we see Mikkel coming out on the right now? No, we don't, so Felix Boucher gets into P2, and starting lap 3 he will also challenge Robert Horvat for first position, and if he can get the braking right here, he'll get it done over the curbs, and keeps it on the inside. And so Felix Boucher in first position after 3 laps of racing, so very close here at the front in these conditions. Just behind those leaders, Peter Abelovszky and Greg Metcalf were also in a fight in the opening stages. Here's Peter Abelovszky going through for P5, and it's still very close here in the front. As you can see, Robert Horvat really harassing Felix Boucher. Rob Timpen then was in first, still in the AM Cup. He will have a little spin getting onto the throttle in his Ford GT, and this way we will see Chris Simpton getting past him in the Koenigsegg and taking first position from him. Let's see how that ends at the end of the race. Ethan Bass, as I said, came into the pits after his mistake on lap 1 to repair his damage, and he was battling with Alex Lausch. He's now on the right, and he will get past to give Alex Lausch last position, and they are completely in the mix with the front runner, so that's probably a bit annoying for both parties. So here Felix Boucher managed to get a bit of a gap, but lost it here into the braking zone and understeered into the grass, and he will lose a lot of positions, a lot of time, and he will have to start all over again. Then Robert Horvath not a lot later, followed by Mikkel Kwiatkowski and Peter Bokus, still very, very close. Peter Abelovszky then in 4th. And he will also lose his car for just a slight moment, and that puts Greg Metcalfe back in front of him. So then Peter Bokus is having a look at the second position of Mikko. He's quite far back, so a move is not in the cards here, but Mikko goes a bit wide here at the apex. Peter puts himself on the inside and he gets the move done, I think. Yes, he does. So P2 for Peter Bokus. Very good run from them both. And then Robert Horvath in 1st. Also had a bit of a slide. This is almost already a couple of laps into the race, and that gives Peter Bokus P1 back. A bit further back behind Greg and Peter Abelovszky, it was Alex Scott and Steen Mikkel Olsen having a big fight here. Steen managing to keep his car on the inside, and Alex could not get through. But here's Alex again getting some overlap. This will be very tricky in the right-left combination. And we have Ethan Bass there recovering. Alex Lausch got back past him due to that mistake. But in these conditions, on the next lap, Alex would be a little bit closer here, coming onto the long back straight with this little kink in it, which in the dry is nothing serious, but in the wet is quite tricky. Got a bit of overspeed, brakes a bit later, and as we saw already in Donington, the Ferrari F40 is very quick in the wet, and he passes Steen around the outside here. Very brave move, and P5 for Alex Scott. Steen was of course not giving up so quickly, but you'll have to settle for now. Then after a round of pit stops, after a mistake from Alex Scott this is, they ended up with Steen and Yevgeny Leonov in the same piece of tarmac. Very close moment there in the kink, and Yevgeny will get past Steen if he makes the corner. Yes, he does. So Yevgeny goes past for P5 at the moment. There are a lot of pit stops due to the changing weather conditions. As you can see, it's not really raining anymore. Robert Horvath, after a pit stop, ended up behind Mikkel Kwiatkowski. They both go into the grass in the kink, as I said. Very tricky there. And if Robert can get it slowed down, bit of a touch. He keeps it on the inside. Mikko luckily keeps it out of the grass, and Robert takes first position with this move. So just at the limit. A lot of mistakes happened, a lot of pit stops, and strategy-wise, Robert Horvath made the best race. Yeah, didn't spend a lot of time in the pits, and he took, in the end, a dominating win. He will win with more than 40 seconds of buffer in front of Alex Scott, who will finish in 2nd position. Just behind him in P3 is Mikkel Kwiatkowski, and he's a lap down. Then Peter Abelovszky in 4th, Peter Bokus in 5th. Felix Boucher will end the race in 6th, and Alex Lausch, Rob Timpen in 8th, and winner of the AM Cup in this race. Then Andrei Golubnici in 9th. Michal Klisch will finish in 10th. Ethan Bass in 11th. Then Chris Simpson, Muxi Istvan, Greg Metcalf, Sando Donadel, and here are the results of this Misano race. Hard fought, very difficult conditions, and as I said, not only 40 seconds, almost a whole lap of advantage for Robert Horvat over Alex Scott. Mikkel Korkiakowski in third, already a lap down, so clearly Robert made the right gambles and took a quite easy win after the first opening stages here at Misano. In the AM Cup it was Rob Timpen, Andrei Golubnici and then Chris Simpson on the podium. So next week we will have a Assetto Corsa GT3 race at Zandvoort, and then the week after we go to Interlagos for round 9 of the URL-GT1 championship. So championship almost coming to a close, and it's getting very, very tight, so stay tuned. Join us at unitedracersleague.com and keep watching and commenting these highlights videos.